Well, hello and welcome from Mumbles on the western side of Swansea Bay. Mumbles marks the beginning of the Gower Peninsula, and that's where we're heading today. We're taking a short walk from Mumbles Pier along the Wales coast path to some of the beaches and bays along the Gower coastline. Well, today I intend to walk from Mumbles along the Wales coast path as far as Caswell Bay. But saying that, over the last couple of weeks, when I've been exploring South Wales, there's been a lot of closed paths and overzealous security guards. But I think today's going to be different. It's a busy path, it's the Wales coast path, the sun's out, things are going to be okay. Well, first, let's have a look at Mumbles itself. The name's unusual. One theory is that it's a corruption of the French word mamelle, meaning breasts. And apparently, the two hills on the headland of Mumbles resemble breasts. I suppose if you're a sailor and you've been at sea for 8 months, anything reminds you of breasts. Anyway, let's have a look at Mumbles, the pier and the lighthouse. And on cue, the small inshore lifeboats arrived. As you can see how choppy it is today. There's a really strong offshore wind. Well, I can't believe this weather. It's windy, but the sun's really bright. And I forgot my sunglasses. But anyway, I'm sitting at the end of Mumbles Pier, which opened in May 1898. And it's one of only 6 surviving iron piers in Wales. It was built as an extension, as a terminus of the extended Swansea Mumbles Railway, and that is one of the oldest railways in the world. It opened in 1804 and it was carrying fare-paying passengers by 1807, but there were horse-drawn carriages. It was electrified in the 1920s and it finally closed in the 1960s. And the reason they had the railway extended to Mumbles, because this used to be a setting off point for steamships for trips across the channel to Devon and Somerset. On the way down, I passed the lifeboat station, and that one opened in 1920. And if you see my video of the Sam Tamper, it was the Mumbles lifeboat which was tragically lost in the rescue attempt of that ship in 1947. And I'm just below the new lifeboat station, which opened in 2014. Unfortunately, we can't go in because of the COVID rules. So anyway, I'm going to grab a cup of coffee before we set off, enjoy the sun, and we're going to head over along the Wales coastal path towards Caswell Bay. I was chatting with a few people on the pier, and guess what? The footpath's closed. The footpath to Caswell Bay. Typical. It closed on the 31st of Jan. It's closed for 6 months. What's going on? Anyway, I'm going to crack on and see if I can find another route, a diverted route. Let's go. Well, just above Mumbles Pier, you'll find this, a large Apple kiosk. It dates from the 1930s, and they had a few of them, one in Porthcawl, one in Barry, and they were used to advertise cider. but the only one that remains is this one, and it's now listed. Well, that's Mumbles Lighthouse, built in 1793, and there's also a lighthouse keeper's cottage over there as well. And in 1860 there was some defences over there from the Palmerston network. It was also used in World War II. They had a searchlight battery over there, big lights and guns, trying to spot shipping, enemy shipping, coming down the Bristol Channel. And now I'm just around the corner from the headland in Bracelet Bay. And on the other side of Bracelet Bay, across from the lighthouse, is the old Coast Guard station. So I'm still heading west from Bracelet Bay, past Limeslade and towards Langland. So far, the path is still open. So I'm just coming up to Langland Bay. This area is really popular with surfers. There's a couple out, but the tide's still going out. As soon as it turns, I'm sure there'll be a few more. That building in the background, I don't know if you can see it, the Scottish baronial style building. That was the Victorian summer house for the ironmasters from Merthyr Tydfil, the Crochet family. It later became Langland Bay Hotel, but guess what it is now? Have a guess. That's right, luxury apartments. Well, the sun's still out and I made it to Langland Bay, along with the bloke with the grinder. I can still hear him in the background. Well, behind me you can see the old summer residence of the Victorian ironmasters from Merthyr Tydfil, the Crochets. But we're going to continue along the coastal path to Caswell Bay, the next bay along, which is also popular with surfers. And that's got something quite unique. It's got surfability, which is adaptive surfing and surf lessons for people with a range of disabilities. They can all come down and have a go. So Caswell Bay, that's where we're going. So as I was walking from Langland Bay over to Caswell Bay, I spotted a seal playing in the bay over there. I tried to film him, but I think he was too far away for this lens. Anyway, it cheers you up seeing a seal. Well, I made it to Caswell Bay and the sun stayed out. By the way, if you don't fancy walking all the way from Mumbles, you can drive to Langland or Caswell, and they both have parking on the beach. And if you want to see more of the Gower, I got videos coming up next, and I'll see you in one of those. Go on, click them. You know you want to click those videos. you.